If there is a message for us today, I believe it is to learn to live from our heart in love. These short lessons, hopefully, will help to inspire you to live with purpose, love passionately, and inspire others. We are the change agent our world needs. I'm Helen Toews. Step into the river today with me to explore the mysteries of God. They are not hidden from us, but for us to discover. Yeah, I really, really want to welcome, especially the gals that are on tonight that are new, and for those of you who are, we generally come on like we did today at 6:30 just to chat, and sometimes it's just fun to hear stories that people don't really want to share because everything is recorded, and or just catch up with each other and really enjoy that. So thank you for coming on early. It is fun to have that little bit of a catch up. It's not like being in person, but it's certainly better than not at all. And Maggie, I saw your face and I'm so happy to see you. So thanks for catching me up. I was concerned that you were too busy. But there you are in the middle of the night. And she's not there. But anyway, that's recorded. Teresa called tonight too. She's out dancing with her family. Doesn't that sound fun? That is so the right order of things. It's really, really good. Maggie, it's so nice to see you.
Hi, Helen.
Hi.
Maggie. Good morning.
Have you been doing any writing, or are you totally consumed with uni?
Totally consumed with uni, although kind of broken up for the Christmas, but okay. I'm on placement. Do you know what that means? I'm on a placement. I'm on a 70-day placement.
And are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm learning so much.
Okay.
But, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, but just recently I've been very, very busy with getting assignments done, and but that's kind of over. That side's over until the 6th of January. Awesome. So yeah, but I've been very, very busy with that, and also had some health issues as well. But I'm pretty much recovered from all of that now. So good. Sorry I haven't been on. It's just too much. This is the one thing I had to sacrifice because I just wouldn't have had enough sleep, so I couldn't.
That's not a sacrifice. This is a sacrifice that you're up in the middle of the night for everything. And so is Helga. She was on, but she may have dozed off. You guys are my heroes.
Oh, I'm still here. I got distracted looking at the breathwork website. I'm still awake, but I may not last the course, y'all. But last time I woke up just at the end when everyone was saying goodbye. So I chatted with Helen and Ed for a little bit.
Oh,
Isn't just too much fun? I mean, it's lovely relationships that I'm just super blessed for. So last week, all right, let's dive into, and tonight is going to be a little bit of a potpourri fireside chat. We're all heading into the next couple of weeks that for some may be super busy, and a lot of things going on. So I thought let's just end the year with memories. Let's talk about where we've landed, where have we landed this year, and I'd like to know what has been the most impacting for you in this year. Lots has gone on, my golly. And are there any areas of interest that you either want to go and review? I spent a lot of time this morning going through a lot of the old lessons, like we've got like 5 years of lessons in that. And I'm looking at them and I'm going, oh golly, would I ever like to redo some of these because of what we know now? Like we had a good handle on some of these subjects, I felt, but boy, things have shifted, and with experience and greater knowledge, what science has come and side with our spirituality. I mean, it's going really, really fast in some areas. Even and all of you that have been here for that many years know how passionate I am about sharing with heart-brain coherence with people. It's just sort of like we all need to do. If you are out of the womb and breathing, you need to learn heart-brain coherence. It needs to be just part of you. It needs to be that technology that you don't do it anymore. You are it, right? It's not you. It's just that you take those first few breaths, you come into that 0.1 frequency, and wow, here we are. And then speaking of frequencies, I looked at the notes and that we did on frequency, and I thought that is one thing that we're going to head into and do a deep dive on, because we know about it. And I would really like it if we were a group that lived in it, understanding every area of how we engage in our lives and what frequency we're at. Recognize it. If we are not where you want to be, where you believe you should, how do you get out of it? And how do we come into that place where we are truly in that sacred self, where we are not dealing with ego, because of that, we know those are frequencies as well. And so that is something. I was shown, I haven't seen it anywhere, I haven't tried it out, but there are the other levels of frequency that I haven't seen taught yet. And Father's put that into a pattern for me, and I'm going to share that. And I think it's going to rock you. I really think it's going to rock you. So some of those things I'm getting really passionate about, going ahead in the more, in the more. And I think that when I look at our river room as we get together, I know that there are those of you in this room, and those that that come on tomorrow and when it's posted, and are sort of regular participants and share with me and watch, that you have more. You have more, and you have a part of the puzzle. And not that I want to single anybody out, but Susan Sanowski, I believe you have parts of the puzzle of the more in what you're living. And I'm really hoping that we can have a conversation, share together, because this isn't going to where we're going isn't going to come out of one voice. This isn't going to come out of somebody's conferences or somebody's new revelation. This is going to come from the sons. This is going to come from us because that's how we're going to. I was going to say motor on, but we're not going to motor on. We're going to fly. Like we're in seriously fun times. Seriously fun times, and. Some of the things that as I was sitting and just listening to Father this morning, and one of the things he says, you don't. This is a quote actually from James Allen. I have his book, and it's just sort of sticking with me. We do not attract what we want. Do you like that? We don't attract what we want. We attract who we are. Isn't that a huge upside down, inside out truth that we really need to be living? It's not about name it and claim it. It's not about, oh, we're going to pray for it. It's not about so many of the old paradigms that we understand that, by the way, are not right or wrong. They were good in the time we knew it, and many of us have gone through those things. But now there's a when we say we attract who we are, that comes with another level of responsibility, doesn't it? And instead of it being something that we are not afraid of, but we sort of pull back from, because who needs the responsibility? We got enough on our plate. But that's not it. We're just going to do a shift. It's going to come into us in a fresh and a refreshing. And it's not going to feel like responsibility in that this is a burden. It's going to feel like we're coming together in that true oneness, in that true I amness. And it's going to feel like that we're so together, walking arm in arm, walking cheek to cheek, having such joy and lightness about it. And therein will lay the power to the new, the new that I know that we're all sort of feeling. And so that's why I wanted to do a little bit of a look back, but and I could certainly start, but last week, I know that some of you jumped into that 72-hour challenge. It's like the Nestea plunge or whatever they called it on the ads, to jump in that. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share since last week that they may have incorporated for this week? Okay. Nobody. All right. So Susan, there you go. And Maggie. All right. Susan, you start.
Well, I left that meeting so on fire, and I just couldn't wait to get the notes, like the, first day, second day, third day, and what do you do and that kind of thing. So I said, okay, well, I took, like the things that I remembered, the high points, and I thought I'm going to just do a practice day the next day while it was fresh in my mind.
Right.
So I did a practice day, and I did 2 out of the 3 times where you had to, refresh and repeat the affirmations. And I've been working on Joe Dispenza's whole program to get to an intensive. So that really fit in real nicely with that. So then but I looked on my calendar that first day, and I had 3 days this week when I would be able to make it work with my schedule. So they were today, tomorrow, and
Friday.
Yeah, today, tomorrow, and Saturday. So yesterday I did a practice day, and I did all 3 times. Today I did a practice day, and I still only did 2. But I'm not scoring myself on it. I'm saying, wow, that was, I'm getting that, I'm making a groove for that to fit in.
Yeah.
And it really made a difference. Like, I can tell now at the end of the day that I have begun to make a change.
Wow.
It's not much, but I can tell that I turned a corner or crossed a threshold, and now I can practice. And every day I expect it will get better. I know it will, but it does make a change. Even the first day, I can report that for me, it did anyway.
Yeah, and I am going to agree with you there. I'm not going to share anything, but I'm going to agree with you. It seems that once you made up your mind to it, right? You've set your mental compass to something, and you said, this is what I'm going to do. There seems to be a cool kind of resolve that helps to propel you forward. And like you say, don't beat yourself up or anything, but just keep going.
Like, every step forward is one step forward. It's like I'm one step closer to where I want to be.
Exactly. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Maggie.
Hi. Well, really, all I can say is I was not well. I had a lot of stress because of the study, and they all kind of hit me in my back area. And I think by the time I listened to Margie, which was 3 days ago, because I am on day 3, I started it straight away, as you do. And I am 95% well.
Wow. Wow.
That's all I can say. And I incorporated or I amalgamated the 72 day with the quantum touch, that that area as well. That what was discussed as well, which was absolutely amazing, blowing out through the areas of my body where I was in pain. And there's more than one, but that was the main issue. And yeah, right now I am 95% well. So all I can say, I don't know much, but all I can say is I feel great. And I particularly like the afternoon one, that energetic burst, that affirmation, at lunchtime, 2 till, I think it's 2 till 4. And I don't know what it is about that one, but it just, I was punching in the air. I was moving my arms. I was in so much agony. I could hardly move the shoulder. It's like I don't know what it was. I was getting ready to go to the doctor, but I decided that I was just hold on, just hold on a little bit longer. And I'm glad I did, because I didn't need to go to the doctor, because Dr. Jesus did it all. It's all I can say. I think a bit like the blind man. All I know that once I was not well, and now I'm whole. So I'm just thankful, really, really grateful to God for how I feel right now, because I wasn't feeling like this 3 days ago.
That's such a great.
That's all I can say.
What else is there to say? Once I was sick and now I'm well. This is it. Love that. That's really encouraging. Really, really encouraging. Thank you. Rick and Karen.
Well, I guess I don't really have words for it, other than I know there's a difference being made. And without being on some schedule, even though I know it's a first thing in the morning, and I nail that one without a problem, because trying to wake up. But the afternoon, I was sitting here thinking about it as I was listening, and I'm like, I'm doing it without even putting an alarm on my phone.
Oh.
I mean, I'm actually, and I think that I had already started to step into some of this, but this just gave me a different window to look through, and so there's such a shift and so much happening for me in this vernacular, not only from what we learned, but from someone else that I had been listening to about this very similar thing. And the shift has just become to the point where we're asking God for everything. In other words, what do we do? And I know we've talked about this in the past, but we haven't practiced it. And for us, it's really been a shift to, well, do we do laundry now? I mean, that's a silly kind of, but that's the point where we're at. And I'm starting to, and I wanted to say that to say that I'm starting to sense when I need to make a different choice. And I feel that that's my connection with Papa. He's saying, wait a minute, let's talk about this. Is this really the direction you want to go? And then I start questioning, oh, wait a minute. And so all of this combined is really helping me as to what at least I'm walking out. I think we as a couple are walking out. And so I want to take this time also to appreciate you and Eddie for all that you're doing, and then also for everyone that comes onto this evening Zoom and their input, their conversation. I mean, always excited to see where this is going to go and what people have to say, because it's so helpful. And the only thing I want to say about this process is I don't do it perfect, and I know I don't have to because it's happening, it's working, and and good stuff is coming out of it because I'm not trying to do perfect.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. That gives us all license just to be free in it and to give it our best shot, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that's so
I
good.
I would add that a lot of this has been really helpful, but I think where it's brought me to is a rhythm of this 3 times a day. That's been really helpful. And this is just some of my notes of things I'm capturing as I manage my state. So stopping, being present those 3 times a day, focusing on, the limitation, what's the opposite, what's the truth, what's Papa say, and going back over those has been a huge benefit to me. There's some really big challenges in our life right now, so perfect timing to just take those things, they're on the list, and just continue to go. And we talked a little bit about this last week about the idea of allowing. And that has helped me in this process because I believe it says what you resist persists.
Right.
And I've been able to feel the fear. I allow that fear. And it's amazing to me that it just dissolves rather quickly. And when I always resisted it with the word, so to speak,
Yeah.
it just stuck with me. But
Oh,
this is like, I just feel that fear. I feel it, I allow it, and then I just move on. It's gone.
yeah.
It's like, well, that's a really big shift for me, but that's all things I've been working through because we jumped in and started right away. And so it's been a blessing. We will continue on.
Yeah. Well, that's a blessing you shared that. There's real super nuggets for us to take away there. I'm glad you brought up that area of fear that Kim and I had a great conversation because we're in the process of putting the What If Chronicles together for as a workbook, or the 20 of the 24 challenges we're putting together. And in reviewing what we're doing with it, we realize from the year that we've grown so much in and have to sort of revamp a lot of what we were sharing. And I think one of them is exactly what you just said. There's two sides to each coin. And we know fear is a really low, well, probably the lowest frequency that we can walk in. And there's a real reality that we need to shift out of it. But what you said, Karen, about feeling it, letting yourself feel it, letting yourself, then you don't become afraid of fear, right? Because you are not your feelings, you're not your thought, that's not where you're living. And when it comes, it's kind of cool. We can smile at it, because if we don't allow that, how are we going to know the heights of love and bliss if we don't sometimes know about the opposite side of that coin? And so I'm glad you brought that up. And I can feel it in your words that it's not the kind of fear that's crippling. It's almost, you almost smile at it, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's almost like I can welcome it now instead of being afraid of the fear.
Right, exactly. As
I-
such, we can just call it a night. That's been the best the rest teaching, and we can rest right there. So good. So good. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, both of you.
May I just add one thing? I really am excited about revisiting the frequency. And to say that with what Karen's saying about the fear in one of our challenges, it's like in the past we would have went, oh my gosh, and been in a frenzy for weeks, and now it's like, okay, this is what it is. There's two sides to this, and it's already been done. Papa's got it. He's and it's not being flippant about it. It's being he's already taken care of it. He knows about it, and we have the choice to either co-create with him and walk alongside him in what he wants to do with it, or resist it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the blessed part of what we're walking in now.
Absolutely. 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 Wow. That's
Thank you.
a great lesson. No, thank you. Thank you. Gina girl.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I been having fun with this whole 72-hour challenge, which turned into like uh, an everyday challenge. Interestingly enough, the going through it each day, I could sort of feel a difference in my thought process about what I was engaging in this thing. And somebody asked me today, oh, so just out of the blue, they didn't know anything about this process, but oh, so has such and so manifested yet? And I said, yes. Oh, so let me see. And I said, yeah, well, here's my thing. Yes, because there is no time. We made up time. So we had this big discussion. I said, so, we talked about it and oh yeah, interesting. Wow. And I thought, you know what? And I answered, I'm living from the result, not waiting for it.
That's right.
And
Exactly.
it just kind of came out and the person said, oh, I get that. Wow. It was quite interesting, but when it becomes sort of a reality to your inner self,
Absolutely.
it's different than just a process that you're working on.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so that's what I've found in my last few days, that, yeah, you start the process, but very quickly, very easily, very fast, did I notice my inner world coming into alignment.
Right. Right.
And so it's sort of not a thing I do, it's how I think.
Yeah.
So it becomes very second nature. I don't have to have a time frame, or I think about it sort of all the time. Not all the time, but whenever, and because every day I know that I'm closer to my reality.
Right.
And that's been a huge thing. I am a step closer to that reality. Wow. So, this is so fun. And I'm excited about the outlandish arrangements that will take place in my life by serendipity to feel and touch the result.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite. It's not, the how-to is not me.
No. I love what you're saying, because I so understand it. Does there seem to be a whole different level of peace and less striving maybe that's the way to put it,
Mhm.
in how just how we're living. Has monkey brain sort of, I mean, it's almost non-existent for me. It's almost because life is with such purpose and such joy
Mhm.
that there isn't the same, I don't have to work at anything. It
Right.
just it's like fear. Yeah, bring it on. We'll say hi, we'll say goodbye. It's like there's an ease of function if
Yeah.
or
But
something.
if you are
Words.
a certain way,
Mhm.
then other things wouldn't even come into play in your brain. Right.
Exactly.
This is what I'm noticing. Like when someone said, "Oh, well, did you?" They didn't say it like this, but it was sort of felt like it for a second. Just, it could have been, "Oh, so have you seen the manifestation yet?" Like,
Right.
you smart aleck, whatever.
Yeah. I know.
And I just thought, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, I live there,
exactly.
and so if that's how you are, that anything else wouldn't phase you or knock you out of your square or um the sky is blue, the end. It's blue. Is the sky green? That's not going to phase me.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Isn't that great?
Right. So
Yeah.
it was interesting. It was very interesting, and it has been interesting in that it changes my inner self. So
Yeah.
that when I look in the mirror, I don't see that other thing. I see something else.
Yeah.
I I don't see it. It is because that's what it is. That's who I am.
That's right.
It's very interesting.
That's so good. That's so good. This week, it's a funny story. I was asked by a young woman who I haven't met before. She's the daughter of a friend, and she and I haven't met, but she had gone on this trip, and I had sent a couple of gifts for her because she was going to Thailand. My parents used to live there, and so I just for fun gave these to her mom. Give these to your daughter. And she came home, and she was on a little bit of a spiritual quest as well, in her trip, and she invited me to come to an evening at a yoga studio, and the theme of it was divine, being a divine, how to be a divine goddess, or what was that the word? Anyway, it had these wonderful terms that at one time you wouldn't get me in a yoga studio. You wouldn't get me talking about divine goddesses or whatever. And I thought, how far away is even I jumped on it. I wanted to be there, wanted to get to know who she was and why she was doing this first time she was doing it. And I was excited to be part of something that was beginning. During the evening, one of the exercises, she did a magnificent job of keeping, there was 8 women together and moving along in different exercises as they were, and with the candles and the gong stuff going on and everything. It was absolutely delightful. And one of the questions that we had to answer and then then somebody else was going to read it. We didn't have to read our own, was we were challenged to write down something that we'd been traumatized by in our life. And do you know I had to make something up? I really did. I thought, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out when in my now I'm almost 80 years old. Guarantee there's been trauma. There's I've lost friends, husband, children like that. What the heck? And I couldn't think of anything. And I realized in that, and I wasn't being disrespectful. I did write down something honest, but I had to dig for it. I had to go, where is that? and what a lesson and what a delight to realize that those things have come, but they're gone. They have no hold. They didn't even have a memory. I had to search for the memory and the words to honor that little lesson. And of course she didn't know, but the gift was for me. It was one of those, Helen, you can rest, because where the journey that we're on, Father talking to me, what journey that we're on is a good one. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. It was kind of odd, Anyway, okay. How about I mean, happy to hear about the 72 hours. I think that has been super impacting, and very grateful to Margie for doing that lesson. I love the practicality of it. This is that, you didn't have to search for what are you trying to say to us, and so I quite love that kind of lesson. Any over the last year, if you've been with us longer, is there anything that has changed in your life that you like, this 72-hour thing, or just something that whether it's been with meditation or energy centers or whatever, anything that has changed your life?
Well, if I can just go, I'm not going to raise my hand.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things, Helen, and thank you.
Okay.
All these open doors and opportunities, but I think for me, it just rose to the surface when you asked the question, and it's meditation. All the meditations that you have offered, I play them in the middle of the night. I pick one. I play them so much because I do heart brain coherence and then I go into a meditation. And that has been life changing for me, to bring me back to focus, bring me back to center and the truth, and just rest in it. And I just appreciate how you have offered and prepared those meditations all along the way that are so helpful for me. Thank you.
Wow. I have to say, I'm with you, Karen. That's one of the things in the last few years that has changed me a lot too, in our meditations. So it's that work from the inside out, right? That
Yes.
you get to, yeah. Well, Renee, did you say something, Renee?
No,
No?
no.
Okay.
Listen.
Welcome. Jacques, your hand is up.
Thank you. Yeah, the ones that you introduced about like the IAMs were quite fascinating. It was a challenge, to be honest. Uh, of course, we're so used to, no, he is IAM, not us, but right. And so, but the more that I got into it and just decided, okay, I'm letting go and I'm just going to do it and get into it. And sometimes it was about peace. Sometimes it was like, I am currency from heaven,
Yeah.
and it would manifest itself, well, to what it was supposed to manifest in such a great way, like peace. One time I did like text a little here in the chat about peace, and one time I went into it so much, it's like I almost knocked myself out to, you know what I mean? Like it went so deep, like it's almost like you knock yourself out unconscious in a way. And other times, like, yeah, I mean, it did a whole lot of good because my monkey brain does go monkey brain, all right, sometimes, right? And then and so just decide to do it. And I would even see the changes like with other people when they approached me, probably like at 10, 20, 30 feet from me. And it's as if I was their best buddies.
Really? Wow.
And I'm there like, oh, okay, like thinking a couple of seconds, oh, okay, I see where this is coming from. And it's as if you would like to talk about how was your day and stuff like that. And this is cool, and meeting other people along the way of what I was doing, taking long walks and whatnot, and seeing this happen in my life. And I'm there like, I don't have to do, anything to for those things to happen, right?
Right.
Except that to recognize who I am. And yeah, yeah. And of course, sometimes it tries to kick you back in the teeth, because you're thinking that things are going to happen. But I like the way that it was being said today, living from result, Gina. It was quite nice. But yeah, and so that's how that it really started to do quite a shift in my life like that. It's awesome. Thank you.
No, Jacques, thank you. Thank you. I think you probably shared many of our journey, and I would really like to blame uh, Kim, who started all this I am stuff a couple of years ago. I don't want to take the blame for everything, because I remember too. She didn't preach anything that we didn't know. She just put it together differently, and it
Yes.
started us on a journey, and that we are really enjoying, and becoming more and more and more aware of that truth. And without that truth of understanding our I amness, we also can't live from resurrection realities. We will stay trapped in that, in that, I just call it old time religion, because I was sure up to my eyebrows in it.
Yeah.
And um,
Excuse me.
and I love the fact that we're free uh, and in Him, like truly live and move and have our being in Christ consciousness, and it's just organic, and it's lovely. It's the most amazing freedom that we have. Lovely. I so agree with you and understand what you said. So thank you for sharing that, Jock. That's so good. Gina.
I have to say that I'm sort of like blown away a little bit by the things that we have learned and the revelations that we've actually come to that have actually been real to us. I don't recall a time in my life um, ever like what we're in right now
No.
and what we're experiencing, and how real it is, how genuine and authentic our relationships with Father and with our own selves are becoming, and with one another,
Yeah.
and with nature, and with the things around us, and with how I respond to the things around.
Right.
I don't recall ever in my life having so much going on and really connecting. I don't recall being able to connect dots like I can right now.
Right.
And,
Right.
and being able to sort of understand something in a way that I would never have thought about. I don't know. I feel like the lights turned on.
Yeah.
I've woken up.
Yeah.
Or I can see clearer.
Yeah.
You know, everything has a little bit more clarity. I can see it better. It's not blurry. It's
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know everything. I don't. I just, my whole response to what we're in and what we're doing and what we're experiencing and where we're going and what we're learning and what we're feeling
Right.
is so clear.
Right.
It doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means that you know they're coming. They are there. You have them, and they're coming up from you, not from anywhere else, which is the beautiful thing, because I don't have to. I feel secure and safe because I don't have to look around and search around and, you know, throw open drawers and chuck books and find the thing. I just have to be still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just have to sit in it and breathe. And all of a sudden it is there on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, what?
Yeah. There's
things that I would never have thought or needed or whatever before. Premonitions
in the process,
or sensing or, you know, whatever stuff that is, you know, is from the inside of you, because it can come from nowhere else. And being aware of that and sitting with that and being still in that. I don't know. I've never had that before.
Yeah.
I've had little bits and whatever, but it's not like it's like I'm meeting some new person for the first time.
And it's you.
Yeah, and it's me. It's, wow, huh, interesting. Really, how do I know that? How did why did I respond that? What? Like, you know, this new sort of person, which is our higher self, and which is our best self, which is the person that is entangled with the I amness in us. It's making connection. It's quite beautiful. Like it's really quite beautiful. So, you know, I can't say that that's been over the past year. It's probably been over several years, but wow, we're in a time that I don't think we've been in before, like humanity, not just us, right? And so I feel privileged in it. I feel special in it. I feel like super wise in it. And these aren't things that I've felt in my whatever that other life. Right? And of course, we are all of that. And so that's not to say, oh, you know, I'm so great, but I am, and so are you.
Exactly.
And we need to know it, and we need to find that, and we need to walk in that, and we need to live in that, and because that's who we are.
Yeah.
You know, realizing that we are so much more grand than we've ever thought. I mean, I love that. And I think, wow, that is so fun. What does that look like? What is that? And I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Every day, something new, something interesting. And the, like I say, the outlandish synchronicities of how the universe arranges that just for me.
I know. And we can live in it as though that's just how it goes.
But not even as though, because it is.
It is.
Right? right? I mean, I hear you. I get it.
you. Yeah.
But we're changing on the inside,
Yeah.
and it's coming out because it has to, because that's how it works.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so, you know, wow, like it's quite interesting. It's quite fun.
Yeah, it's a great peaceful feeling. It just somebody should write a song about that. Thanks, Gina.
There is a song about it.
there. That easy feeling. Oh, there you go.
The peaceful, easy feeling.
There you go.
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Debbie, I'm glad we found you. Eddie, and then Debbie.
Well, looking backwards, time is such a seems like such a blur, because just it seems like just yesterday you couldn't, or I couldn't, mention the name of Jesus, or couldn't say anything possibly contrary, because we call it sputting. Like if we said anything that could be incorrect. And I find now, like, Jesus was revered, the name of Jesus was revered, and I'm realizing more and more now that Jesus should be the ideal, not the idol. And I'm finding again and again that that, like, through testimony, like, that there's no limit to what God's power. Like, once I hold on to a desire, and if I hold it firmly and don't deviate from it, that I can almost, like, or I can feel, maybe it hasn't manifested, but it is manifesting or about to manifest, and it's just like the bubble is about to explode. And I just think of this verse or whatever, where or saying whatever, I'm so excited about the challenge, about the word that says, no, you can correct me, but try me and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that will fill my granary, or fill my to overflowing. Like, I know that it's not quotation correct, but I'm so excited that it's right there, and I know I have some testimonies, but the thing is that that's just the scratching the surface. Like, once it explodes, I'm going to go, like, I'll I'll be like the new girl on the block that we heard this morning, or this evening. I'll just be yapping away and saying, and you want to hear this, and you want to hear that, and here's what else happened, and you won't be able to stop me. And I'm going, anyway, that's how I feel about it. It's so exciting, and we're in exciting times. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah. All the things he just said, I agree. Like, it's so true. It's so true. You feel like we're right there in it. We know it, and we're just that whatever it needs to just explode into our life is right there. Yeah. Thanks, Eddie. That was great. That was great. Debbie.
Oh, this is so good. So good to hear everybody's explanation of the same thing, but we just all experience it differently, and it helps so much to have everybody's input, because it just makes it enlarges it that much more. But this reminds me, I guess it was probably about 2009. And I sensed or heard or something the Lord say to me, be the joy, be the love, be the light. And, I knew that what he was saying was truth, but I didn't know how to be it. But I knew it was something that I was going on this journey with him. And because it just absolutely, totally, even though I didn't know what it meant at the time, it rang so true to me. And now through all these years, it's taken forever, but through all these years, now I'm finally have experiences of that. And it's so clear and it's so expansive and it feels so good and it's so freeing and it's so just, it's just so beautiful and feels so good. And then, I'll be knocked back into, the world. But then when I become aware, I'm back in my old stuff. When I become aware, sometimes all I have to do is mentally, since I've experienced it with God, then I can move into it by will and choice because I've had enough experiences of it. But those experiences are getting longer and there's less the worldly chaotic stuff that I tend to fall back into. But when I fall back into it, I'm aware that I'm in it. So actually, just like has been said tonight, once that awareness comes, it actually breaks it off of you.
Yeah.
But I can flip back into it also. But, anyway, that's becoming, be the joy, be the love, be the light is becoming reality, because that internal shift is absolutely, totally occurring. And, it makes it a direct experience with God, a direct experience with nature, a direct experience with people. And, isn't that the mind's not in the middle interpreting every single thing. It's just direct experience.
Right.
And when I live in that, I don't have to worry about what the next step is, because the momentum's within that for the next step to come, because it has such a flow to it. And if I can stay in that, I just experience a day of where that joy is there, where that peace is there. And we are becoming who we really are, is what's happening. And, it's just it's a glorious, it's been a long trudge for me, or a long time for the pieces coming together. And now I finally realized it's when I have those times of meditation, those encounters with the Lord, and I experience him, that is the gateway into being what you just experienced. And there's no mental stuff to it. It's just direct life. And it's I suppose for everybody it's a journey. It certainly has been for me, but I'm glad to be at this point. And this group is at that point, so it's so exciting, because we're you just feel like you're going to pop.
Yeah.
And it's just life. It's his life is what it is. We're experiencing his life, and it's more about, it's already all there, and we are everything that he says we are already. But it's the weights and blockages that it's what gets removed that allows us to ascend forward. And I feel that ascension in my body. It's like, I can't believe this body can be sick when I feel this way. And so, it just gets gooder and gooder. And anyway, I appreciate and love you all so much. And it's a great experience to be on this journey with y'all. So thank you for listening.
Debbie, I think you spoke for so many of us. And the t-shirt for the night is "We are becoming who we really are."
Yeah.
I love that. I just think that's so true.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening to you too, I'm saying, Helen, you are so blessed to be with people that are all at this jumping off place, or I don't even know what we call it, but when I said that, everybody understood. That's all I know. We understand each other, what's going on, and I don't think I've ever been in such a peaceful group that you can just rest in that and know it. All the stuff that you said, Debbie, all of it is really speaking for the group.
Yeah.
Truly. Thank you so much.
Just wanted to make one little comment, and thank you for that, Debbie, about talking about the direct experience of something. That's profoundly simple. You know what I mean? Because when we directly experience something, let's say in a meditation, and we see it, and we are it, and we feel it, and we get it, and we experience that. How then could it be any different in our lives? You cannot unsee something that you have seen. You cannot see something in the spirit and it's a lie. No, it is the truth. It is the real. It is the genuine. It is the authentic. So the direct experience in the spirit can easily then quantumly translate into this parallel of this world.
Absolutely.
The realms are interchangeable. So I love that. That was so true. It rang so true to me. And you said, and that's where we can, live from that answer, right? We can live from that result because we directly experienced it. And we can't take that lightly. That is so important. And sometimes I've come away from an ascension or an intention or a meditation or a whatever, a musing, one of those things, whatever they are. And I'll have been able to say, oh yeah, that was really cool, and walk away. And walk away.
Right.
And walk away. And I go back to it, and it's like I write stuff down, thinking, what? Wait a minute, I remember that. Oh yeah. And so you said it again, the awareness of this. It's not just a little musing story that we think about and it was story time and it's over. Therein lies the truth and the grace and the energy to pull that thing to your reality, because it is your reality. That's it. It's simple. It is your reality. You wouldn't have thought it, you wouldn't have saw it, you wouldn't have done it, you wouldn't have had direct experience if it wasn't your reality. Huh. Wow. Awesome. Thank you.
So good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you both. Thank you, Gina, too. Susan.
Debbie, I want to say the same thing as Gina. I said that when you made that expression of the direct experience, that's what changes you. Because when your mind is out of the way and your mind isn't the interpreter, and your body, when your brain and heart are one, that is when you get a life changer. That is when you are just transformed.
Yeah.
So I so get that. But what I want to do, what Gina, you clarified something for me when you started tonight about when, that person said to you, well, has it manifested yet? And I was thinking about, well, we used to always say, well, we're going to pull this down and see it manifest. Why would I want to lower the frequency to see it manifest? How ridiculous.
Go up.
And now that we've been ascending, I'm realizing, heck no, I don't want to see it manifest here. I'm going to ascend to where it is. You know, I'm ascending into it, not dragging it down to my low level. And as soon as you said that, it's like that little, all those pieces kind of clicked in, like when you have a lock and you turn the key and the tumblers all fall into place. That was my aha moment tonight. Was like, I don't want to bring it down, for heaven's sakes. I'm going up. And not that it's an up or down place, but I mean, that was earth shaking for me. Thank you.
That was true.
And
Good.
and you know, when we ascend into it, like, you know, and I mean, I feel that within myself, but when that happens, whatever it is so hard to explain this stuff. It has the creative ability of its own to be what it is. And, you know, it's just that we make mental concepts of things, and then we proceed from that. And that mental concept thing that we do that's where the problem is. And because we can actually handle anything in life if we live in the present moment in direct experience with the problem or the person or whatever, because your perspective is huge. It's God's perspective. Right. And you don't have any limitations within yourself. It's like a runway that doesn't have all your options are open, and they can all happen in a split second. You know, there's no process to it. It's just like Helen said, we experience what we vibrationally are, not what we think. What we think and what we feel, of course, contributes to our vibrational frequency, but it's not a direct thing. I mean, like the vibration that we're feeling in this group, the upliftment, the ascension, the freedom, the expansion, that attracts that frequency of expansion and liberation and freedom. And it, like, what happens with me is, like, I mean, I just see myself like merging into this ocean of God that has no limitation anywhere. It just goes forever, and you feel it. It's not just a seeing thing. I mean, you feel it, and you become that energy of that. Right. And I think that's who we truly are. So we are just really experiencing who we truly are. All that other stuff is all the junk that, you know, has accumulated on top of who we are. But it's I mean, your level of faith, I mean, for me, and in that place, it feels like it's not faith at all. It's just, like Gina said, it's truth. It's above everything. It's the realm of truth. And, you know, it's so exhilarating.
Yeah. And you know, you said something. I know this might just sound little or minor, but it was huge for me when you said it. You said these two words: ascend into. And I think we need to adopt that little phrase, because we're so used to saying the word ascend and think it's going up, because that's what it means, right? To go up. But really, it's like the king ascending to the throne. Well, he's not going up; he's going into being seated into the place of authority, into the place of power, into the place of passion, into the place. And so, just that little change in our language would remind us that we ascend into. And one of the things that we're going to talk about in the next season we go into is understanding dimensionally that they are not one on top of another, that those dimensions are within us.
That's right.
And that's not, it's like,
Yeah, that's right.
when we start unpacking, we'll get clearer and clearer what we're ascending into, right?
Yeah.
Because that's that melding. So that's good. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Patricia. Oh, you need to unmute. There we go.
Well, everyone's sharing's been very enlightening and enriching. And I was thinking, what is it I would like to share about? And what the I am it's become a reality, like we shared. And the other day I was feeling, feels like I might be getting a cold. No, I am house. And instantly it was gone. And I am love. And one day I was driving and I started judging somebody. And I went, no, I do not do that. That's not what I do. I am love. I am going to think good things about people. And, that I said, I will not do that again. That's my new, level of what I expect from myself, because he is in me and I am in him. And that's what he would want. So yeah, I just find that, it just starts to become natural, like it's more natural because I am in him and he is in me. It's just been a blessing. And yeah, so I just want to share that.
Thank you. It feels like instead of getting more complicated, like we're trying to do a PhD, it's getting more simple. We can just stay in kindergarten and enjoy nap time too,
Yeah, that's cute.
It's all good. Thanks, Pat. Shantiva.
I thank everybody for sharing. I really appreciate it. Like y'all know I'm still new, it's my first time, but it was just all spot on because literally 2 weeks ago, I'm not even joking, 2 weeks ago, I was just like asking the Lord, like, what scripture does he want me to study and like meditate on? And he literally said Psalms 46:10. And I'm like, all right, be still and no, surrender your anxiety. And I didn't even know anxiety was even fear, worry, and uneasiness. And I'm like, oh wow. And then he's just been showing me that when it comes to fear, because we already know he didn't give us a spirit of fear, but as we know with that scripture, be still and know that I am God. And I'm like, okay, I'm been studying it. And it was funny because later on, he was like, have you been studying that scripture? I was like, Lord, let me go back to studying it because I kind of like wasn't studying more in that day. And then I was like, all right, Lord, I'm gonna be still and I'm gonna study. And because you clearly want me to study it. And I just said it out loud. And he said, did you catch that last part? I am God. And I was like, I am God. What you talking about? Like, but it was in a different way, like to show me, to remind me that I am. And I was like, I got mad excited. I'm not even gonna lie. I got so excited. And then not even 1 minute later, I started getting these thoughts. Nah, you can't say that. You can't say I am. You can't say that. Nah. You mean I am? That's God level. You're not on that level. And I literally was like going back in. And I'm like, no, but I heard that. I heard he say, I know what I heard. But literally not even, it's like I was in that joy for 1 minute, y'all. And not even 1 minute later. And so then I'm like, all right, God, I know what you gave me. So that's what I've been studying. I just been like, you know what? I am strong. I was like, I had to go back. I'm like, nope, I heard what, get out of here, right? I am strong. I am love. I am one with him. I had to I'm literally been saying that like for a little while now, and I've just been studying that. But it's like you know how like, you know, that heart brain coherent, I'm still there. And my son, Mr. Messenger over here, as I literally just learned about this amazing group on Monday, and I'm searching through your YouTube channel. I'm like, oh man, she got a lot of stuff I get to study, right? He gonna click the one that says I am. I said, little boy, you better go ahead. Little messenger. And I was like, of all the messages you can click, you want to click the one as I am. So I just wanted to share that because I was just sitting in that, and I'm like, Lord, as I continue to read, to not just know, you know, we all know scripture, but just live that is it's going to be, for me, it's like, it's a difference. It's a different way to pray. It's a different way to live. It's a different way to speak. It's a different way to be. And so with just hearing everybody share, I'm like, I told you, I know it's gonna be. I knew today was gonna be amazing. I knew you wanted me to be in this group, right? Today, you know, and so I just wanted to share that because God is just so amazing, but he does it in a way that is just so for each and every one of us, that's so intimate and just so loving and just kind and just wonderful and exactly what we need. And to take those little thoughts of like, nah, I am, but that's what he said I am. Okay. So if he's I am because I'm one with him. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share real quick.
Well, you've just wrapped up nicely a couple of years of where we've struggled and you landed like boom. I'm not jealous. That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. That's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Everyone seems to be speaking for us all in so many ways, eh? Just yeah, I'm with you, Jacques. There's two thumbs up. Two thumbs up. Yeah. Well, you know, one of the I think one of the highlights in my last couple of years, especially and it's sort of this year. Well, one of the highlights for sure was getting together and seeing each other and actually hugging each other rather than just have the Hollywood squares as we call them here. That was that was pretty impacting to see Maggie as she flew over the pond to land for a few hours, and oh my gosh, it was really good. But what changed, one of the things that changed in my life the most was when I realized that what unconditional love truly meant. And I had to put it to the test and forgive and recontact with a brother that I had been separated for 8 years. How about that? And that was Ed and I went on a road trip. That was the summer of 23, so it was just before this past summer, and we reconnected. And of course, after all that time, and you can imagine well, maybe you can't imagine, hopefully you can't imagine, but there was a myriad of hurt, a lot of things said, a lot of things that could have blown up, could have, and we reconciled. And so when I say that that is the most important, so many things have come out of understanding unconditional love, and the one thing was the test of actually loving unconditionally. And I heard an analogy about I don't know who wrote it, but he was talking about in the spring the blossoms come out on the branches of a tree, and if you look carefully to those blossoms, they stay for a while, and then the petals and the blossoms fall. But when you look at where the blossom was, it was there because now it's creating the fruit for the tree. And then that fruit develops and then that fruit gets to become seed again, and as the seasons go. And that's been the cycle that this year brought, was the fruit of unconditional love. And the other lesson that Father just talked to me about was the importance of not just that unconditional love, but one time I was talking to him about forgiving somebody, and his lesson to me was, do you realize for you to forgive that person, you have to judge them first? And that went really deeply into me, because it was such a good path to be on. I thought I was just swimming with this unconditional love, but I did it in the old way. And then that became the next lesson that shifted me, and realizing I don't need to judge anybody or anything. I don't need to do that. I can just live in that unconditional love. And so for me, I I got caught in one of my own teachings, and it was so good. It worked. It really, really worked. It didn't take a step program, and it didn't take too much counseling and all that, other the counsel of the Lord. But that was really, really exciting. And to be in that season now of watching fruit, come from it, I have to say that for me, that's what you guys helped me through, to be able to process and to talk about, and to think things through. And I'm so appreciative of exactly that, you guys have changed me. Maggie, you changed all of us with these last well, it's a year mostly, but more than that, where your poetry it has been so dynamic, and you're sharing through the gift of your poetry has been Renee's showing us something. It has just been so exceptional, and I had to mention it because I didn't want it to get lost in. We haven't done a lesson on poetry. You've just come alongside and built us up in such a beautiful way. How many times has one of your poems felt like a benediction, and sort of tying the bow on whatever it was that we were in? And so I have to say, so appreciate that. And we're including some of your poetry in the workbook that we're doing too. Yeah, thank you. Really, that's so good. I know that the planks aren't on tonight. I saw them at the beginning, but there's we're not just changed by somebody teaching something, but there's a family that comes that's part of us, Elizabeth and Todd and Jen, and it has to be 3 or 4 years now since the very first time I saw that little family in a square, not knowing who they are, but just how beautiful the love is in that, and how courageous Todd has been to share his life and his journey, and how it's integrated with his job and with his life. I mean, he's put legs and feet and practicalities to his faith walk, and how he and Elizabeth navigate that, and transparently have shared with us that, and even our little Jen, who will often respond in a message, and you sort of feel like she's our barometer of how things are going. And so it's, it hasn't just been about lessons. It hasn't just been about facts. It's been about people, and you're the people. Susan, every time you share, Susan Sanowski, I feel like there's such a richness, and there's such a stability and such a matter of factness, and most most of the time that, well, Helen, shouldn't you be understanding this? Of course. And I love it. I just love it, because when you share with us, you just tell it how it is, and it's so amazing and miraculous. I like all those things when they come together. Uh, it's absolutely beautiful. I see Judy's hand, so I'm going to stop talking. Thank you for bearing with me, guys. Judy.
Oh, that was wonderful, Helen. I just really so much appreciate you and Ed and all that you have put in all of these years. When you asked us to look back, like, oh my gosh, all kinds of things are, popping. Where did we start? You talk about frequencies. Do you remember the time that you came out to teach us? And we had John Toews teaching us in the beginning about frequencies. Well, there's a whole lot more to it than that, and what we learned that day. But everybody sharing what they're getting through these programs are just, well, I know that we're all tied together, and I know that this is doing something for our families, but it's doing something for the rest of the world. I understand that. Every now and again, you look at something and go, oh my gosh, am I supposed to go there? And the one morning that the Lord spoke to me and said, there's nothing new under the sun. And that is so true. These things it's done. These things have been going on forever.
Yeah.
But to be able to be in a group like this, to share heart to heart, is where we really do learn so much more, because somebody else has got the piece that you didn't have. And just thank each and every one of you. I just so appreciate you. And Helen, all of your work, all of these years. I just, when you asked me to look back, I'm going, oh my gosh, which stack of binders do we go to? Thank you. So it's all going for good stuff.
Judy, we have walked for over a decade. It's been a while. Thank you for sharing that. Well, it's so right. I'm sort of looking at our Hollywood squares, and I'm thinking, when you start mentioning people, easy, because Jacques is here, and you want to hug him and thank him for his contribution. But for those of you who met Caroline, who did not fall in love with Caroline from New Zealand? I mean, Bobby fell head over heels in love with her. He said, Mom, that woman is just joy personified. And Miles and Jody, as they ministered to us and with us. And you're right, everybody has a piece of the puzzle. It's quite lovely. I'm looking forward to more. Pat.
When you were sharing about your walk about your brother, with the judgment that you didn't realize about the judgment, and then forgiveness, how they were tied together, but the freedom that comes,
yeah,
the release of that, it's just phenomenal. Like when you're walking in unconditional love versus judgment, I mean, it's just night and day. And, it's such a beautiful release, and it's almost like you're floating, because there's such a release and a joy and a peace. And it's the way to go. So I just thought I'd add that part.
Yeah, it's so true, Pat. And I think the saying is if, n- what is it about forgiveness? Well, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, for one thing. But when you don't forgive, it's like drinking a poison and expecting the other person to die, where it's a cliche, but no, these are lovely lessons. And these lessons that we're learning, like on unconditional love and forgiveness, and to meditate, to change from the inside out, is the very path that, and for people who are coming on and listening during the week, this is the path that we're on, because we have to change from the inside out. We have spent many, many years looking to the outside of us for the latest and greatest, for the new revelation, for the prophet to come in and lay hands on you, or to get the new 5-step program to prosperity or whatever. And all of those things, they're not good or bad. They are, but work with the things that change you from the inside out. And then it'll be like Shantiva, you are just sitting with Father, and he's teaching you. It doesn't get better than that. And what tickled me listening to you more than anything is that you trusted that voice, that when the other voices came in and wanted to get you the static, get you off the frequency that you're hearing, you said no. I'm going with the voice that I know. You are so far ahead of the game just knowing that. Oh golly, that's just the best advice you could give us all, really and truly. So good. Well, how are we doing? Are we ready for Christmas? Christmas is, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie. Christmas is a week from now in Canada, wherever you are in the New Zealand or South Africa, UK, Ireland. Are you all ready? Is it a busy season, quiet season? Everybody needs a little nap. Well, okay. Well, I just want to thank everybody for sharing tonight, and for just coming in with their supply, their memories, their thoughtfulness, for your just some of the zingers that we know this, but all of a sudden you hear it with another voice, and boy, it does change, and it settles in us, and we're very grateful. We'll be back on the 8th of January. That starts our new season. And until then, unless someone has anything you really want to share, I just want to say thank you. Wish I was there to hug every single one of you. And those of you who are up in the middle of the night, you are my heroes, absolutely my heroes. And we love you dearly. Have the most amazing holiday season. Be blessed, be a blessing, be the light, and just rest. And may God bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine on you, be gracious unto you, and may he lift up his countenance upon you and grant you his perfect shalom, his perfect peace, nothing missing, nothing broken. Love you so much. See you all in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Helen.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Thanks, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Christmas.
Come back with testimonies.